This is Mary Witt. She's the executive producer of What's New in Libraries. You've seen her in a variety of segments if you're a regular follower of this program. But here's a special little option for you in this particular program. Where's Mary? She appears in one of the segments. Stay tuned, and if you see her, send us a message, and there'll be prizes. The big prize is a gift certificate to Barnes & Noble, but there'll be other prizes too. Where's Mary? Let us know. So write to us if you'd like. What's New, care of me, Sarah Long, North Suburban Library System, 200 West Dundee Road, Wheeling, Illinois, 60090. Or if you prefer, send us an email. What's New, nslsilus.org. Tell us where Mary is. We want to know. Welcome to What's New in Libraries. I'm Sarah Long, the director of the North Suburban Library System. Throughout our area, all kinds of libraries are building and remodeling their buildings. It's a great time for libraries. The newest one is the Des Plaines Public Library. Located in the heart of downtown Des Plaines, the library has become an anchor and a symbol of economic strength in the community. We'll be on hand for the ceremonial book brigade, the gala benefit for the library, and finally the official opening for the public. Next, we'll visit Reeltime, an independent film and video forum that takes place at the Evanston Public Library. So stay with us as we visit the Des Plaines Public Library and see how their book brigade works.
Good morning. I'm Michael Mulholland, the Dean of Librarian here at the Reeltime.
I'm Eldon Burke. I'm president of the Board of Trustees of the Des Plaines Public Library. Today's a big day for us. We're getting ready to open our new library. We're doing a ceremonial book move. We're certainly not planning on moving all of the books today. In 1958, we had a number of young people, mostly scout groups, that moved all the books from the old building to the current building. In those days, we used grocery carts because the Jewel was not open on on Sundays at that time, and we found that that worked really well. However, the first book open on Sundays now. We can't get the grocery carts, so baby's first book. We would try a different approach. We have about 1,200 people signed up today to pass books from one person to the next, from the old building to the new. We're certainly not planning on passing all the books. We're going to pass more by time than by numbers of books. We're going to stop somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes. When people start getting tired, we may have only passed 100 or 200 books at that time, depends on how long it takes for them to look at the pictures. pass the book along. But we're pretty excited about the day, and we're excited about the support we're getting from the community. Tony, I'm glad you're able to be here with us today. This is an exciting day for Displays.
Glad to be here, Elton. I'm glad to see that we've got these many people coming over to help us. I know it's started out kind of a rough day with all the rain, and we talked about it. What happens if it rains one day and it started? But I think now that the rain has gone away, everyone's going to enjoy this one. I'm looking forward to it.
I was supposed to play golf this morning, and it got rained out. Thank goodness it was the golf that got rained out instead of the book bags.
I got a hunch you can brag a little bit more about what's going to happen now.
You bet.
Golf game.
You're exactly right, Tony. No, I think the kind of support that we're getting from the public shows that the city is ready for this new building and excited about it.
Hello, here we are in front of the Displays Library, Becky and I. I'm here to give out pop to anyone who wants it. I don't know if you know me, my name is Joyce Peterson. I'm one of the aldermen from the 8th Ward. And I find this kind of exciting, and I said, we must be living right because it's rained so hard this morning, and all of a sudden we got a beautiful day. There's even a little breeze. So if you want some pop, come on, I'll be happy to give you a glass. And Becky?
I'm from the YA volunteer group, and I volunteer almost like every month, I would say about 5 times. And I did it because I basically wanted to help out the library.
So it's kind of exciting. A lot of people coming here. They're going to be closing off the streets in a minute, and it's just a fun thing to do and be part of. So I'm glad we're here.
Hi, I'm Sandra Norland. I'm the library administrator. What we're doing here today, it looks chaotic, but it's really fun. Lots of times that's the combination that it takes to really have fun. We are reenacting the 1958 move from the old library, which was on Minor Street, about 4 blocks from here, to this library, which is on Graceland, corner of Graceland and Thacker. People have talked about it. Every time I go anywhere in the city, somebody will come up to me and say, you know, I was a Boy Scout and we moved all the books from the old library to the new library. So when I knew that we were getting a new library, it was always sort of in the back of my mind that we'd have to honor that because it was such a special time in a lot of people's memory. So what we're doing today is strictly a ceremonial move. We're not moving all of the books because now we have professional library movers to do that. But we're taking a collection of 1,000 books, which the books are the books that you give to babies and infants before they're a year old. So we're moving a collection of those books hand over hand, where it's like a book brigade. This was actually the idea of Reverend David Laser, who was on part of the Special Events Commission for the city, and it was his idea to do the Hands Across America approach to this. But unfortunately, he died about 2 months ago, so we have fond memories of working with David, a little bit of sadness, but mostly we're honoring him because it's going to be a great day and it's going to be fun.
Hi, I'm Bill Pardue, the Electronic Resources Specialist at the Arlington Heights Memorial Library. Everyone who uses the World Wide Web has their own particular favorite search engine, those vast collections of links that find and index millions of websites so that you can look up information with a few well-chosen search words. A couple of common examples are Lycos and the ever-popular Yahoo. These search engines match your search words against their own written descriptions of websites and an index of web pages, and they try to list the sites that they think are best according to how often your search words show up in the pages that they find. For lots of people, that works just fine. However, it never hurts to have a few extra tools in your belt, and it's a good idea to take a look at a few search engines that work a little bit differently. Let's start with a look at Northern Light at www.northernlight.com. When I search a term like college, it comes up with over 12 million pages, but it also creates special folders that list themes like college football, college admissions, and community colleges. These folders are Northern Light's attempt to group the results into more meaningful and helpful sets of websites for you. Oingo at www.oingo.com is a relative newcomer to the search engine scene, and it's useful when you're trying to search a common word with multiple meaning. If I search for jaguars, I might mean a large cat, a car, or a football team. Oingo gives me the chance to be more specific. Using a special drop-down menu, it asks if I want to search for all the different meanings of the word or just a specific one, such as for the Jacksonville Jaguars football team. I'll select the football team listing and I get a highly specific list of results, all of which are very relevant to my interest. Finally, Google at www.google.com is a newcomer that has become one of the largest search engines around, indexing over 1 billion web pages. Google works pretty much like other search engines, but its secret is in the order in which it ranks the pages in your results. Instead of just looking at how often your search words show up on the pages, Google looks at how many other pages link to a given web page, with the idea that if lots of other sites link to a page, it's probably pretty authoritative. This often leads to very useful websites being listed right at the top of the results, even if the total results has hundreds of thousands of hits. In fact, you may be searching Google already and not even know it. Yahoo recently announced an arrangement to have all of their web page search results come from Google. So when you search Yahoo, you're automatically searching Google too. In the end, just as some people prefer Macs and other people prefer Windows, the choice of a search engine is pretty much a personal one. The only way to get better at it is to practice, practice, practice. And remember, if you don't have access to the web at home, try it out at your library. From the Arlington Heights Memorial Library, I'm Bill Pardue.
This is a gala evening opening of the Des Plaines Public Library. We're going to see everything. Stay with us.
I have a long history. Our relatives grew up in town from the 1840s. I remember the first library and the 1957 library, and now this one. So I'm delighted to be a part of it.
So, is this what you thought it would be?
Oh, absolutely. Sandra Norland has done such a marvelous job in planning, and the board, and everyone has just worked very hard, and we had the concept drawings, and everything was absolutely great.
And for the record, Sandra Norland is the director of the library here at Des Plaines. And refresh my memory, how long has she been here in Des Plaines?
Sandra has been with us, I believe, since 1995.
Yes, that sounds about right to me. And I think her leadership has been really exemplary, as we can see in the building this evening.
Absolutely. Sandra is very thorough in everything she does and has the ability to conceptualize and bring visions to reality.
I'm Sandra Norland, and I'm the library administrator for the the beautiful new Des Plaines Public Library.
And this must be a crowning evening in your professional career.
It really is. It's the kind of project that most librarians really do want to be involved in. And I have to say that this far exceeds anything that I'd hoped for. And how often does that happen in anyone's life?
Well, I remember when you first came here about 5 years ago.
That's right.
And I remember the early attempts. I mean, you have been truly working on this for 5 years.
Actually, you probably hear from older board members that we worked on it for 10 years. It started 10 years ago. And the library board hired a survey, and then the library board started working on what Des Plaines Library should be like in the year 2000. And this was in 1990 that they started.
So 10 years ago.
Yeah, for 10 years.
So do you remember in your interview, were you asked about building a new building?
I remember in my interview that people were a little bit discouraged because they had lost a referendum about 2 years before that, and they were trying to work back up to doing a new one. And I remember thinking very positively about it and feeling very optimistic and saying, you know, it might not come right when you want it to come, but it'll come.
Well, through the years that you've worked on this, did you ever feel like, you know, I'm not sure? I mean, were there doubts?
I wouldn't say doubts. I'd say more like vacillations. I was of two minds. I thought perhaps the old library could be spruced up and fixed up and built up, and then we could we could sort of uncover the beautiful library that everybody had dreamed about and had remembered and was so fond of, that those of us who came in new weren't really, didn't really agree that it looked as good as most people remembered it had. So I sort of had that sort of restoration project on the one hand, but then a new library on the other.
So it's not like you came here with a hard and fast vision and you just drove everybody to that.
No. I think when the second referendum failed, I remember having sort of a speech to the library trustees. I sort of screwed up my courage and gave them a speech. I didn't usually do that, but I said, you know, we're going to have to build. We will build, but what we're going to have to do first is build our reputation and build our service and build our relationship with the city, and then we'll have a building.
Well, now, through all of this, obviously you were a true believer and in a leadership role and an ability to affect change. How was the staff of this library? How did they fit into this picture?
They've been fabulous. The reason this library is going to work as well as it works is all due to the staff. The architects were fabulous about working with every staff member in this library got to have some kind of input and help design the workspaces for them and for the public. So everybody's had a role, and it's been wonderful. And really, you might think that makes me sound like a real open administrator, but really, the ulterior motive is that people will love what they've worked on. So
okay, now we haven't had our tour yet, but give us a little heads up when we go around on our tour. Tell us what are the high points in your professional judgment?
I think the way that we've structured the circulation area, when people walk into this library, they're not going to be able to see books, which I know is a little anxiety producing. So what they're going to see is this elegant, welcoming lobby where they'll see people and they can ask them. But they'll also have their eyes lifted and their spirits lifted by this beautiful atrium. So they will be drawn up to the second, third, and fourth floors. The second floor is probably the most spectacular floor. It's been designed for meeting the developmental and emotional needs as well as the reading needs of various age groups. So we have a special spot for the older teens to get away from it all. We have a special spot for the sort of middle grade school age children.
Say like so they can 8 or 10 years old?
About 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, because we know that they love to be in groups, and we know they love to talk a lot. So we've got a special spot where they'll feel comfortable getting together and talking. And then there is a wonderful place for the toddlers where we've designed it so that they have sort of they can explore with their bodies and get ready for the reading skills that they'll need to have. So that's a spectacular floor. The fun floor is the 3rd floor because that's where all the fiction is and the audiovisual materials. But it also is a wonderful place, and this is true throughout the library. There are special places for people to do different kinds of activities. People that want to come and get away from it all, there'll be corners for them to go to. People who want to come and study or talk to each other, there'll be special rooms where they can go and have their discussions or their meetings. There are also lots of reading tables, lots more computers. So I keep wanting to say there's a space for just about every need. The 4th floor is the floor that's known as in the library jargon, is the seriousness of purpose floor.
Oh, is it quiet there?
It should be quieter as you go up. It should be a little less active and lively. But there are places for people to get away by going into quiet study rooms or going into some of the corners. But this is where the reference and the nonfiction collections are held. So.
Well, now let me ask you kind of an evil question. It's actually been asked me, and I'm sure you've heard this question before. Looking at this library, why will people come here? People who live in Des Plaines, people who live in this area. Why will they come here if they have a computer and the internet at home?
Well, for one thing, it's a beautiful place, and we know that even though people have homes entirely equipped for every kind of recreational, informational need they possibly could have, they still want to go and be where other people are. So we've designed it as a place where people will come together. We also have made it so attractive by just the beauty of it. I think people will come here because it's inspiring. They'll come because it looks beautiful from the outside, and then when they come inside, they'll walk around and they'll I think without even realizing it, they'll feel good, they'll feel inspired, and they'll feel welcome. Also, we know that people are reading more and more and more than they ever have, so this is a place to come and get a good book as well.
Well, I'm a true believer, and I bet all of our listeners are too. Thank you, Sandra, and congratulations.
Thank you.
But Christie has done installations using this type of technology with the holographically originated diffraction gratings. And they are dependent on, you can see what's happening with the piece. This sunlight just bouncing off here is causing all of these colors to occur. And when that happenstance will occur with the piece here, you'll have rainbows bounced into the interior of the building. There's a universal feeling of comfort with this recognition of being bathed in rainbows. So.
Even on a rainy day, if there's any kind of light present, there's going to be brilliant color, and that's going to make people aware of the light outside coming in through this beautiful building.
Okay, I'm Charlotte Storer, and I was president of the library board many years ago, and I'm currently president of the Friends of the Library.
So you're a long-time library supporter.
Yes.
So tell us about the conceptualization of this idea for a new library.
Well, we were going to look at the library to see where we were, where we should be, or whatever. And fellow standing over there, Reverend Michael Schnell, does long-range planning for Lutheran Social Services. He was the chairman of our committee, one of our library board members. And we came up with, in the year 2000, we should have 80,000 square feet and everything else that goes with it.
And how many square feet does this library have?
80,000. And it's the year 2000.
That is incredible.
A lot of people on the library board did a lot of hard work, and the results of it have just been outstanding. And I think we got a building here that we all can be proud of.
That's great, and I understand this is really a cornerstone in the downtown redevelopment here in Des Plaines.
Yeah, this is phase one of a major development. What our objective here is to get to the point where our downtown Des Plaines becomes an attraction.
The library officially opened to the public on Sunday, September the 24th. Be sure to visit the Des Plaines Public Library. It's located at 1501 Ellenwood Street in Des Plaines. The library hours are 9 to 9, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday, and 1 to 5 on Sunday. Wasn't the Des Plaines Public Library beautiful? I'm just so impressed with it. The artwork, the way things are arranged, it's just a gorgeous building. Actually, we're fortunate in this area to have a lot of new and renovated library buildings. Northbrook renovated and added on extensively. Schaumburg has a brand new building. Mundelein, the Fremont Library in Mundelein, will be opening shortly. There are lots of new and renovated library buildings in our area, and we're very blessed with that. You might wonder why this is the case. Because everyone has a computer and can access the internet, why do we need to build more libraries? Well, I would answer that question by saying that the library serves a number of functions in the 21st century that we really can't do without. One of them is the library's a meeting place. It's not a church, it's not a school, it doesn't have any sectarian connotation. It's a free and open place, and most libraries have large and accommodating meeting rooms, and they're places for people to come together, either in an established group or for library programs. So that's one good reason for libraries to be renovating and adding on and building afresh, is to make sure that these public meeting places are adequate. Another reason really does relate to the internet, and that is that the internet, while it's a powerful medium, can also be very confusing. The librarian is your best ally here. And almost every one of the new and renovated libraries in our area has a computer lab, a place for people to come and use computers under the expert help of the librarian, who is an information professional. The librarian can help you perform an internet search that's not too many hits. The librarian can teach you how to look at websites and determine whether or not they're authentic. Lots of good reasons for libraries to build and renovate. Finally, and certainly not least, is what libraries do for kids. For many preschoolers, The public library is the first place that they go for intellectual stimulation. And it is important that they go there, and that they see wonderful books, and that the library is a lovely space, and that they get the idea in their young, fresh minds that reading is an incredible, incredible experience. So, personally, I toast all these new library buildings, and I urge you to enjoy them. Speaking of new libraries, the Evanston Public Library is just a couple of years old and has become an important community meeting place. Reeltime, an independent film and video forum, has used the meeting room at the Evanston Public Library for its program. Let's find out more about Reeltime.
Reeltime is an independent film and video forum. We present videos to the public in a public setting and invite speakers to come that have a relationship to the topic that's being shown, and then engage the audience with both the community member and the filmmaker. So it's a discussion, it's a forum, really.
I guess the distinctive part of Reeltime is that we do showcase independent film and video. And independent film and video is something that the public, on average, does not really have access to. Independent media has so much to offer in terms of unique perspectives and really tackling issues that are considered too controversial for mainstream media to present.
This season's kickoff is related to Labor Day, so we have a Labor Day theme. And we have a film that deals with the longest running labor strike that was at the Frontier Casino in Las Vegas, a film by Amy Williams. That's one of the things that we're having.
And with every film, we usually put together a related event, some programming event that's related to the themes that are presented in the film. So for September, for this evening's presentation, we have Chuck Hawker, who is a labor historian and who performs labor folk songs. He will be providing the musical programming for this evening. We have Larry Duncan, who is a producer of a local cable TV show called Labor Beat. He'll be showing a short clip from his program.
And we invited Bobby Hall, who is the organizer of Women in Labor History Project. And so she's going to come and talk about women in labor history.
We needed some financial support and some seed money. So we also approached some other members of the community, and I think we became aware that Block Gallery at Northwestern was interested in doing something to reach out to the community. David Mickenberg there, who was very excited about the idea, and he helped us with some seed money.
Then he arranged to have a lunch with Neil.
Clearly, there's a tremendous amount of interest in this kind of independent film and video, and I didn't know that. I mean, it was Andrea and Kathy who really educated me on that, and it's been, I think it's certainly a big part of the library's mission to make available to the community those quality products that are not easily available. And there's a lot of good films made that you almost can't see. And so, by buying these for the library collection, by screening them, by giving people the opportunity to talk about them, it really makes them available in a way that they otherwise wouldn't be.
And what's really interesting is the audience that comes, because rarely will you get this collection of people in the same room that you get at Reeltime. You have elderly, young, you have wealthy people, middle class, street people come, mentally ill, disabled, all kinds of people come to this event. I'm not sure if it's for the video or for the coffee and the cookies, but they come, or for whatever reason, everybody is in the same room and there is a discussion, which is really quite wonderful about this program. If you look on the library's website, we have the little Reeltime icon, and you click on that, and there's a schedule.
We also have an email address, and that's reeltime@epl.org.
Thank you for watching What's New in Libraries. We hope to see you next time, too.